So my question for you today is, do you worry? Do you have fear? And so, you ever heard this statement when you're with friends? Well, somebody has to worry. Well, no. Nobody has to worry, because actually worry drains you. Now, where does worry come from? Where does fear come from? Fear comes from the fact that you believe that something negative is going to occur. Do you know that the research shows is that over 90 to 95% of things that we worry about never happen? So why would you want to put that into your system? Here's the other side, is that if we're in fear, if we're in worry, it drains our bodies, it erodes our immunity system. It is toxic to our bodies. So in Luke 12:7, God says, but the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not. This is not, okay, don't fear sometimes, or this is a really big thing, so maybe you should fear this time. It says fear not. It's clear. It is a directive. And how is it that we don't fear? Is that because we have trust in Him, that He is going to take care of us, that He is on our side. He is a good God. And a lot of times we really forget that. And we think it's our job, our responsibility to worry. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have concerns at different times, that you shouldn't pay attention, that you shouldn't have safety in your life and different things. Crossing the street in front of a Mack truck is not recommended. That's not what I'm talking about. But do not be afraid, for I am your God. That's what Isaiah 41:10 talks about. And in Matthew 6:27-28, who of you will gain any time and measure in your life if you worry? Nobody. What does it do when you hang around somebody who is always worrying? Our kids were blessed. I have a son and I have a daughter, and they went to a Christian high school. And in that Christian high school, they had a drag racing team. And so my son and my daughter, who are a year apart, they were one of only two each year to be selected to be on the drag racing team. So these cars are doing 115 to 120 miles an hour at the end of the track. I had an individual who was working for me at that time, a single mom, had a 16-year-old boy, and says, I would never let him do that. I would never let him do it. And one of the things that she was allowing, the worry of her son being hurt. You know what? I need to put my kids in God's hands. In Job 3:25, he says, for the thing I greatly feared has come upon me. Do you know that what you worry about comes about? If you think that your person's going to leave you or nobody likes you, guess what? That's what you're going to manifest in your life, because you're thinking about it. You're focused on it versus again, it goes from a positive versus a negative side. So teach me to be able to focus on that. Now, personal story, very quickly. Not very long ago, a few weeks ago, my daughter was in a serious ski accident where she broke her back. She got into a jump on snowboarding. And at first they thought maybe she broke her hip. She's only 21 years of age, but she actually broke the tips of 4 of her spine in L1, 2, 3, and 4. When I got the text from the mountain, because she couldn't even use her phone because she was knocked out, as a father, I was ready to go into fear. But I know what I teach. I know what the Word says. And so I stayed peaceful and I said, listen, do I trust God for my daughter at that very moment? So when we got to the hospital, she was x-ray. Yes, she had broken her back, the tips of the wings on the spine in L1, 2, 3, 4. But her attitude and what she did after that is she said, you know what, I'm thankful, Dad. It could have been way worse. We had prayer around her. We had 20, 30, 40 of her friends come over and be with her. And you know what happened? 3 weeks later, the doctor x-rays her back and says, you know what, Stephanie, there's no evidence that you ever had fractures. She was completely healed. You have to stay grounded and centered in Him. No matter what you see, our trust is in here, in Him. Fear not.